Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Welcome to video number 3 in the This Birthday Piggy Mega Stamp-A-Stack. This is our card. We're going to do this Enjoy the Ride card. The Stamp-A-Stack makes 4 of this design, and you are in video number 3. If you missed video number 2, check out This Little Piggy Says Happy Birthday. It's linked below if you're watching on YouTube, or use the quick links if you're navigating through the blog. And video number 1 was a fun Wonder Recipe number 2 card. And we did 6 of these cards, but we shook it up a little bit and did them 2 ways. So we did Go to Your Happy Place and Stay All Day in Crushed Curry, and This Little Piggy Says Happy Birthday. That was video number 1. And video number 2, now you're joining us in video number 3. Let's get started. I'm going to show you, we've got an optional class packet. This Birthday Piggy Stamp-A-Stack, it's a mega pack. There is 13 cards in this Stamp-A-Stack, quarter of a package of the Rainbow Designer Series paper from Celebration, springtime maybe. It's not available anymore. Quarter package of polished pink ribbon, almost half a package of brush brass butterflies, half a package of pearls, envelopes for each of your card, plenty of cardstock for stamping your pigs. You can get that by going kitchentablestamper.com/shop and check to see in the right hand side, just filter for packets and see if we have any of those available. Now we do the cutting and the scoring of your card base for you, but we don't stamp your backgrounds. We don't stamp your pigs, and we don't die cut anything that comes in the featured bundle, with a very few exceptions. Now, we're going to get the polished pink card bases, burnish them with the bone folder, and then we're going to add a little background stamping. I like this Stamp-A-Stack. One of the things that we're doing is it stretches me out of the box, out of my creativity a little bit. We're using a block background, so it's a rectangle block, it's little cross hatches, and we're using it in bits, almost like we would a piece of Designer Series paper. So just stretching a little bit, stretching our creativity. It's not something I usually do, but I think it's had some great effects. You can do this technique with any small rectangle background you have. Mine is from Sweetest Cherries, and this is from the annual catalog. It's current Stampin' Up. If you have the Christmas Scotty, which is one that we're going to be focusing on pretty hard in the holiday season, the Scottish plaid would look really good here too. But any little background that you have. The Sweetest Cherry is a photopolymer stamp set. We're going to grab our Stampin' Pierce mat, and I've got polished pink ink. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this one 2 times, kind of strategically, where it's going to peek out from behind our Designer Series paper. And we're just angle it, kind of a landscape angle here. And then we'll do ink up again and switch down here. We'll do kind of a portrait angle. There it is. Now there's our backgrounds. When you're doing Stamp-A-Stacks, you'll do all your backgrounds. So if you noticed, I don't know if you did, our first card, we had that same background, and it's more of squared off, not the angled. And we did Crushed Curry. We did Bermuda Bay. So if you're doing this as a Stamp-A-Stack, do all your backgrounds. Do them all at once. Do the Crushed Curry ones, do the polished pink, do the Bermuda Bay. But for the sake of the video, I'll show you each step as we go. Now this is a Wonder Recipe number 5 card with a little bit of a twist. We have brand new Wonder Recipe 19, and we reserved the 4 1x3" strips. Remember that from video number 2? So grab those, and let's choose 2 Designer Series papers for our Wonder Recipe here. And I'm going to go with that same rainbow paper. I love this paper, and I actually love this design better. It's exactly the same card. All I did was put the Bermuda Bay stripe on the right side for this card and on the left side for this card. And I like this one better. So you just never know. And I love these Stamp-A-Stacks because you can try different things. That Bermuda Bay stripe has a flirty flamingo backside. And so I've been contemplating, do I try like really playing up the pink, since we have pig Not sure how I like it. The nice part is you can just keep on going with these wonder recipes and try different things. The other one I had contemplated is, instead of doing Bermuda Bay, maybe I would do some pool party on this one. It would lighten it up all a little bit. I don't know. Decisions. I'll tell you though, I think doing it the same is very safe. I love live videos because then I can ask you what you think. I think we're going to lighten it up this time. We're going to live a little and do a little bit different. You'll be able to see all the samples. You can tell me in the comments which ones you like better. All right, so you're going to take our 2 designer series paper patterns. You don't have to worry about the directional patterns because we're just going to cut this into 3x3 squares like the Wonder Recipe shows. And you can do 2 pieces of designer series paper with your Stampin' Up! Trimmer, no problem. I would do 3, sometimes 2, but with much caution if you're going to try with 3. And we're just going to pop those right into the grid. And then 1 stack for each card. Works out kind of nice. Wonder Recipe is a 1-sheet wonder. It's a great way to jump in, cut the designer series paper, then you're committed, and you make it into something more beautiful, right? All right, then the other thing we're going to do is to stretch these pieces from the other Wonder Recipe. We're going to cut them in half. So these are 1x3. We're going to make them 1/2 by 3. And these are both directional patterns, but it doesn't matter because we're just cutting them directly in half. So there we go. I've got some little 1/2-inch strips that'll bring even some more color and pattern to our cards. We'll do that with the other set too. All right, the last thing I want to do is some clouds. We're going to use the same paper that we did in card number 2. And what we can do with this is just drop 1 stack on each, and that is 1 set for each card. And then we can just slide this aside. I laminated this. You can print it off right off the website. Just click through the project details, and it's linked underneath the embedded video on the blog. Now you'll see that our cloud punches, when you hold it this way, punches with the narrow sides on the left and the wide sides on the right. And that's what we want. So we want to bring our paper right into the punch. And then we're going to check from the back and just make sure that we see everything. I can't quite get in there, so I'm going to do this. And if we're looking from the back of the punch, we're going to be seeing the stripes. So just keep that in mind so we can get our cloud go in the direction that we want it. We want the wide side on the right. So we'll do that 4 times. And we want to get 4 more clouds, or 3 more clouds out of this paper. Let's see what we can do here. Might have to trim across. There's our 4 clouds, 1 for each card. I love these wonder recipes. We're going to go ahead and just drop one of those clouds onto each of the sections in our grid. There, everything's all organized, ready to go. Let's bring our card bases in. And from the kit, if you're cutting your own, let me show you. We're going to collect our circles for our backgrounds here. We cut these for you if you got the Stamp a Stack packet from Basic White. It is cut using the layering circles dies, and it's the second from the largest, so 2 5/8 inch white circle. And we need one of those for each of our cards. So I'm just going to pull them right out of the envelope, or if you're cutting your own kit, you can go ahead and cut, and you can lay it right out on the Wonder Recipe grid. I'm going to take some liquid glue, one of these stacks, and we're going to go ahead and adhere first our 3x3 designer series papers, and we want them, I don't know, I think it doesn't matter whether I put the rainbows in the left or in the right side. I'm going to go with the left because that's what I kind of preferred. with the Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to put the rainbows on the top. So I'm just auditioning my papers. We want them to kind of have a little angle with the designer series papers, and then the background stamping peeks out. So once I got it all dry fit like that, what I like to do is lift the paper and kind of just use liquid glue and put it out along the back of the papers, and we're going to just glue them down as if they're one. So we'll just scribble a bit on each one, then bring it back and lay it right down in there where we had planned for it to go. Next up is our little circle spotlight for our piggy. That's going to go over the two and off to the right a bit. And then our cloud. I love it. We're going to stop there because we need some grass behind our designer series paper strips. So hold on, let's catch up the other layers and then, or the other copies, then we're going to cut some grass. All right, there's our designer series papers. Let's just slide this aside. Again, I'm using my little Wonder recipe. We're going to put that aside and go to the kits. And in the kit, you had some quarter sheets of cardstock and you cut off 1/2-inch strips. All right, for the grass, we did that in video number 1. Now we're going to go ahead and use our Playful Piggies dies. It's got this awesome grass edge. This die set will be fantastic as a wingman for the piggies with the grass and the wagon and the flowers that we're using today. And it's just such a cute little standalone die set. If you look at the kerchief and the present and the bow and all the great things. So if you've got other animal sets, if you've been collecting some of the ones that Stampin' Up! Has put out recently, like the goats and the chickens and the donkeys, these dies, all these little fun bits like the grass edge that we're using now and the flowers that we're going to use in a minute, the wagon and all the fun pieces will just coordinate so lovely with all the other animals you've been collecting from Stampin' Up. So whether you've got the birthday piggy, this birthday piggy or not, take a look at the Playful Piggies dies. It does have the 3 kind of bubble cutout images to cut the piggies, but even if you're not using the piggies, it's a fantastic die set. All right, so we did 2 layers at a time. We can do that with dies that don't stitch or pierce or have any score lines. And now we've got 2 great grass borders. We're going to do that twice, so we have 1 for each card. And then go back to our grid and get our Mango Melody Designer Series paper. We're going to take the grass and just adhere some grass to the back of this designer series paper. It's going to be longer than what you need. It's okay. When it dries, before we put it on the card, we'll just trim off the excess. All right, let's put the grid aside. We've still got just a couple little bits of designer series paper. Let's grab those off and put them with our little grass strips and trim. We'll just use the designer series paper as a guide and trim away the excess. All right, we've got 4 pairs of designer series paper banners. We're just gonna bring them in and make them the ground for our little piggy scene. I'm gonna use some liquid glue and adhere little yellow one straight across, and then our little blue hearts, put those on, keep that fun angles going, and we'll adhere those to our cards. All right, let's set aside our cards, and if you've got the kit, you've got some 1/2 sheets of basic white cardstock in the kit, and we're gonna stamp 4 of our little scooter pig. Of course, you can switch up whichever pig you want on whichever card. Each design really will support the other pigs if you're interested in mixing them up. Maybe since you've got 13 cards you want to do in 3 different designs, maybe you want to do one of each design with one of each pig, and that's okay. What I'd do is plan ahead if you're doing the Stamp-a-Stack, and I'd stamp all the pigs that you need and then color all the pigs that you need. So by the magic of television, that's exactly what I did. I stamped all my pigs, colored all my pigs, die cut all my pigs for this card. If I was doing it not for a video, I would do for every card in the whole stack. Let me show you how I colored this little dude. My pigs are all Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to use light Flirty Flamingo and fill in my pig. Get a nice solid base coat and fill in the whole pig. We're not going to do a lot of shading because we're making a lot of cards. And so we're just going to color cute and stamp a stack. All right, our pig is now light Flirty Flamingo. We're going to take this dark Flirty Flamingo, put a little cheek, a little bit in the ear, and a bit on the snout. That's pretty much the extent. We'll blend the light and the dark together. There's our pig. Now, my scooter is going to be light Bermuda Bay. Color that in next. And again, we're just going to do some little circle strokes to fill in with a nice solid color. And I didn't do the poof of confetti coming out the back because even when I colored it, it still seemed very primarily black. And so I'm just going to trim it right off, but you can leave it on. There's plenty of room for it in this design. I decided that my scooter was going to be trailing flowers instead. It kind of fit with the whole theme of the Stamp-a-Stack. I made the cards really come together really cute as a group. Got some dark basic black, did the hooves. I'm going to take Smoky Slate, light and dark. And this is, again, just some of the very little bit of shading that I'm doing. I'm going to do dark at the very edge of the headlight. And then I'm going to blend that with the light and do everything else with the light here. So we'll do the handlebars and the hubcaps and the bumper. Got some dark Daffodil Delight. And do a little doobobby at the top of the flag. Light Daffodil Delight. We'll do the headlights, reflectors, tail light. Light basic black. I'm going to do the seat and the wheels. And for the ground, last, I'm going to use SU 300. It's a nice brown. We're going to just do circles and fill in where the artist drew the dust and go a little bit lower than you think you might need to, because then when we die cut, it'll be colored all the way to the bottom edge. All right, to make die cutting a little bit easier for a Stamp-a-Stack, I'm going to cut my piggies out kind of roughly. That'll give us more room on the platform because we are going to do the flowers, leaves, and the piggy all at one time. Oh, and don't forget the piggy's kerchief. We're going to do that too. Let's get our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in here and get set up. There's my piggy, and in your kit, if you got your kit, you got your scraps of Bermuda Bay for the kerchiefs and polished pink. You got some scraps in a full sheet. I cut it into little strips to make die cutting easier. Every pass will get one of everything that we have a die for. And then the leaf on Granny Apple Green. And give that a crank. All right, I'm gonna trim my little piggy. I'm gonna cut the confetti off, and that, like I said, is completely up to you. And I'm gonna glue a little kerchief on so we don't lose it. All right, we're just gonna swipe a bit of liquid glue. Add that right around Piggy's neck. Adorable. Bring our card back in. Here's our original samples. 1, 2, and now our pool party version. Let's get these guys here. I'm gonna put some dimensionals behind my pigs and add them. If you want to, you can just push the little edge of the scooter under the edge of the grass. Pop that on. He's so cute. Let's get the rest of our piggies on their cards. All right, we've got all of our designer series paper grass strips on. It's time to do a little bit more stamping. We've got this cute little enjoy the ride sentiment, perfect with the scooter, from our This Birthday Piggy Stamp set. I love the fun sentiments in here. We're gonna do enjoy the ride on a little banner cut from the seasonal labels dies. It's this tiny little skinny one. It's perfect for the sentiment. And we'll do that with Bermuda Bay. So we're gonna stamp one of these little banners for each card. And you wanna stamp the sentiment to the left. Leave room for your flower. So cute. Let's get it on the card. We'll go ahead and adhere all our sentiments now. And then our flowers. Got some liquid glue. We'll just stack that right on our banners. And then let's embellish with these flowers that we cut. I'm going to add a bit of glue on the larger one. And then take a smaller one and touch to the bit of glue. It's an easy way to spread the glue around so that it doesn't ooze. You don't use too much that way. And then our leaves. You can use glue dots for these too. If you're not a confident gluer, use your mini glue dots. That works. You want to move kind of quickly because we put down the flowers. And then we're going to swipe a little glue on the leaves. Not too much. The leaves are split. Those details that are the veins are cuts. So you don't want to use too much glue. And just lift the edge of the flower and tuck the leaf right under. Ha ha! Just embellishing left, and we'll have stamped a really big stack of cards. This is definitely a mega stamp stack. Let's get our pearls and our brushed brass butterflies. I'm going to add just a combination of different size pearls. We'll do a large one and 2 small ones. Just mix it up a little bit. You get a half a package of pearls, but the most pearls you get are the small ones. So I like to do some big, sometimes a medium and 2 little ones. Just mix it all up. It does a lot for the texture. Put some on each of your copies. We'll finish this up. You're gonna have lots of pearls left over to play with and some designer series paper. Let's add the brass butterflies now. You can put them anywhere you like. I like to kind of put them in this whole montage of flowers and pearls. Kind of, like I said, replaces that puff of confetti out the tailpipe. And instead, we've got butterflies and flowers and rainbows. So cute. All right, 2 more. Look at that, stamp a stack. We've got enjoy the ride. Go to your happy place and stay there. And this little piggy says happy birthday. This little piggy says happy birthday. 13 cards in this mega stamp-a stack. Still got some butterflies and some pearls and some fun rainbow designer series paper to play with. To see if there are still class packets in the Kitchen Table Stamper store, buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop, and then in the right hand side click filter for class packets, and you'll be able to see if there's one of these mega packs still available. Makes 13 cards with extras to play. If you got questions about the packet, the class, anything Stampin' Up, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. And to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next Stamp-A-Stack.